There he is again. Today, I'm coming to you from a bit of a different location and with a completely different topic. The topic, EcoFlow. Now, not the 100th review of the EcoFlow Delta. It's simply a small module, a universal module to easily expand and unlock the EcoFlow batteries with a neutral storage unit. I came up with something for this, and I think anyone can do it. Let's get started. No, that's not it. It's not about that right now. Five of us are here for the EcoFlow video. This is all about the universal battery expansion. I've come up with a little something because there are a ton of things online, but they're all kind of experimental. So it's about tinkering. How can I expand the storage through this port without the original battery? I've come up with something and I'm going to show it to you. I'll also show you where to get all the stuff. So it's actually kind of foolproof. So you can just plug it in without having to worry. Because you always have to keep in mind, there are 52 volts here. And in the worst case, 200 amps could flow through. So that means there's a real danger involved. So I'll show you real quick. The circuit diagram for it, how I did it, how I select things, what you need for it, and I hope you like the modification. I'll also link below in the video description the videos I found online that are really helpful. So now I'll quickly show you the replica. Circuit diagram, I'll take the box apart again and explain the cable. And that's it. So I hope this will be an express video. My version, EcoFlow adapter, universal adapter to expand third-party storage devices to make the whole thing a bit easier. There are tons of ideas online, so this isn't my idea. Only the way it's put together here now, that's something I more or less came up with myself. And I tried using all this stuff that's online to make the whole thing a bit safer. I'll try to go through this really quickly now and briefly cover what you need, just going through it step by step. So these are the parts for the adapter. We need an EcoFlow cable that's at least 1 meter long. Make sure it's the right one for your model. I've tried this out, and I'll also put it in the video description, an AP distributor, 2 to 4 modules. So 3 will work too. The smaller it is, the better. IP65 in the cable gland, a switch, either a latching or toggle switch, whatever you have on hand, 16 square millimeter cable, red and black, about 50 centimeters, very important, a DC circuit breaker, bidirectional, so not polarized, an Anderson connector, 150 amps, a 1 kilo ohm resistor, 30 centimeters, and a bit of flexible hookup wire. And the connector, I might show that right at the end. Normally it's optional, you don't absolutely need it. This is the most important thing. I found something affordable here. It's important, like I said, 1 meter, and that's because with 1 meter, you can make 2 adapters out of it. I just think it's better when they're the original connectors, and there you go. It's just better than sticking some feet on it and plugging in random resistors. I just didn't really like that. Yeah, and as I said, this is the AP small distribution box. This is the cable that then gets selected. That goes over here. I laid it across here. And here's the switch. And then 12 volts and ground are connected together through the 1 kilo ohm resistor. Very important, DC bidirectional circuit breakers without polarity. I found the Hessian one, which is actually super affordable. Of all places, even on Amazon for around 10 euros. And by the way, you can also get it also in different current ratings. So it's great for PV systems too, because they go right in. And these non-polarized switches are pretty expensive. Yeah, this is that adapter again. This is now, the cable has already been cut through. These are the main cables. I think they're 8 AWG. And these are the signal cables from which we'll pick out 2 and connect them basically with a kilo ohm resistor. A resistor with the count and with the 12 volts. As I said, that's the 1 kilo ohm resistor. That's a simple switch. It doesn't matter at all what kind you use. You can just turn it on easily. And that way you can keep things nicely separated. So when you turn it on, then it's fully connected and you'll have the 352 volts at the plug as well. And when you turn it off, everything's quiet, nothing can happen. Yeah, here I've shown it again. That's basically the socket on the EcoFlow, and that's the plug. And the 4 and the 6, I've shown that here again too, so you can see it from both sides. That's where the 1 kilo ohm resistor comes in, and then it gets switched. That's the whole trick to it, really. That's basically how it's selected. And then this connection is activated and behaves accordingly afterwards, just like a regular EcoFlow battery. Yeah, that's the adapter. That's it. I use 6 AWG, which is 13.3 square millimeters. That can easily handle up to 50 amps, so it's more than enough. Anyway, I limited the battery afterwards using the BMS, so nothing can really go wrong. I planned this whole thing with this little EcoFlow mainly to set up an off-grid solution. Yeah, and like I said, this is another EcoFlow adapter alternative. Use with caution. I found it online and it actually works great, but I didn't really want to do it that way by sticking the resistor in and then putting some kind of sleeves on here. So I'll show you this in a bit more detail now, and that's it. Let's get started. Now, let's get into a bit more detail. And first, I want to correct myself real quick. I said something a bit off about this circuit. With this select switch, the EcoFlow master basically recognizes, or rather, the original one would recognize, that another battery is connected. It charges and discharges it too, but it doesn't have or can't or must have a connection. In other words, it's not treated like an original one. That's just something you need to know. I said something a bit off there. The second thing I want to show you, you'll see that again in a moment. Here are the colors. The colors I used here don't necessarily have to be the same. So that means you really have to take the pins and basically use a continuity tester or a multimeter to figure out which colors are the right ones. I can't guarantee that the Chinese don't just randomly change the colors from time to time. Switch them up. Okay, what do we need? First, a little fuse box like this. It can be a 2-module fuse box, a 3-module fuse box like this one, or even a 4-module fuse box. Next up is this circuit breaker. I use the Hessian here. It's from Amazon. I couldn't find anything cheaper that's bidirectional, that is not polarized, and also suitable for DC. So all I can say is I couldn't find anything else, but this one works too. So if we take a look at this now, you can see it best right here like this. This is basically where the cables come in. That's 12 volts and ground. Goes over here. I put another connector in between here, but you don't necessarily need that. Over here is a switch. I used a slightly different switch. There you go. And in this line, the 1 kilo ohm resistor is installed. And basically, when I flip the switch here, like now, for example, the 12 volts are then applied through the 1 kilo ohm resistor. Switching is all clear. Otherwise, that's, how do you say, the one that comes with the original EcoFlow. And this is my Anderson connector. I've built all my storage expansions with Anderson connectors, so I just have to plug them in. Otherwise, of course, you can just use a regular switch like this. Anderson connector. For those who don't know, Anderson connectors are best attached here using a crimping tool. And then, yeah, you just push them through, set them in place, and they snap in. You can also get them out again if you lift the front a little. This one's a bit oversized because it's rated for 150 amps. That's just how I built all my storage units, and I made sure everything matched. You do it properly. If you install it correctly, you'll see the plus and minus signs up here too. So you can't accidentally reverse the polarity. So you can't just swap them by mistake. All right, and now just briefly, here's what you need to do before you start it up. I'll show you that now, and then we're basically done, because it's really not that hard. And before you connect the expansion battery, do the following test. And there should be no voltage present. That's exactly how it should be. And now, We've got the 52 volts, and now we have the switch here. That's the main power switch. And we've got it set up here as well. So if everything looks like this, then we're good to go and can connect it. Turns off. And turns back on. Because of switching in the 1 kilo ohm resistor. All right, that's basically it. I don't want to go into more detail now because I'll link a bunch of videos, and those go into detail. Everything is explained there again, how to wire everything together, how to test it all out together. Like I said, I'll link 3 videos below that are made just for this. Here, I'm really just focusing on this setup basically to make things a bit safer. Okay, this was really supposed to be a short video where I just came up with something. Just to make things a bit nicer or safer, and that goes right on top here, like this. And that's what it looks like in the end. So if you like it, have fun and see you soon.